Check, check. It looks like I've made it. It look I've done it. It looks like it's working. How's my shirt working out? Fred, are you still around? Sorry to keep you waiting. Have been up since 2:45 a.m. Yeah, get some rest for sure. So I was dying to come on live ever since I found an article last night that I've already linked up in the description. I had found this a couple weeks ago that Erica Franz, how the F do you say her name? Frantzv. Okay. Let's just say Erica Franz. I try to put a K in there, but it's a V. The K is in the first name. So she won a Miss Teen pageant in 2007, but nothing shows when you try to look it up online. Here, let me fix this just a smidge. The only thing I'm not going to touch it. The only thing you can really find is that nothing happened in her life until 2012. That was the year she won the Miss Arizona, and then her life began. I do want to see if I can fix that one little thing. 1 second. Don't mind the man behind the curtain. I like to try to get everything into the shot that I can, and I can't seem to get the puppy dog or the squirrel. The squirrel is down here next to the Z. It's right next to the Z. If I move this, I think you can see it. Let me see. Let me try. I'll do my best. We love the squirrel. Can you see the cute little squirrel? Yes, you can. Right down there. Okay. So please hit your like button if you don't mind. Share a video of mine with somebody that you think might like my channel. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please consider subbing up and turn on your notification bell to ring. Okay, so when I found that information a couple weeks ago, you always got to be skeptical of anything you find on the interweb, anything and everything. And nobody else was talking about it. So I almost put an apology into one of my videos saying, I can't verify if she did win this Miss Arizona teen in 2007. But I found this article from Arizona that I linked up, and I'll just go ahead and read it to get things started. And thanks for being here. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, and learn something. And all of my videos are made for YouTube. It's an infotainment platform. And did I get everything? I think I hit all the right notes there. And I'm just trying to pull up that article from the description. Easiest way to find it. Okay, so it's the Arizona Republic, and it was written a long time ago, but sure, those things can be faked. So what it says, where shall I start? Leaders are made, they are not born. Her senior quote stated next to her high school yearbook picture. Actually, it looks like this was just updated on September 19th. And it's titled, Erica Kirk grew up in Scottsdale, what to know about her Arizona connections. An Arizona native, Erica Kirk was a high school athlete, Miss Arizona USA 2012, and founder of several charities. She holds degrees from Arizona State University and Liberty University and is pursuing a doctorate in biblical studies. Erica Kirk and her late husband, Charlie Kirk, married in 2021 and had 2 children together. Leaders are made, not born. Her senior quote stated next to her high school yearbook picture. You want to know what is stated next to my high school yearbook picture? It is Catch Your Dreams Before They Slip Away from the Rolling Stones. Let's see if I can make the connection. There's the Rolling Stone. There's Brian Jones. That's a quote from Ruby Tuesday. And I apologize for the braces. I am going to learn how to talk better with them. Anyway, I like my quote better. Catch your dreams before they slip away. Leaders are made, they are not born. Okay. I don't know. It depends if you believe in predestiny or not, right? She is an Arizona native who grew up in Scottsdale playing sports, competing in beauty pageants, and doing charitable work. Okay, I read that part. Now, Erica Kirk will take the reins of Turning Point USA, the conservative political group founded by her slain husband. Let's just jump. Isn't this the right article that has it in here? Okay, here we go. The Arizona native, well, she's from Ohio, but then she moved to Arizona when her parents got divorced. The Arizona native grew up in Scottsdale, born to Lori and Kent France. Erica was raised in a Catholic family. She graduated from Notre Dame Preparatory. Now, let me just interject right there. If they're a Catholic family, Catholics don't believe in divorce. So that would mean that they would have had to have the marriage annulled if they did divorce, which puts children in a really bad predicament. If their parents' marriage never existed, where does that leave them in limbo? It's nuts, isn't it? She graduated from Notre Dame Prep, a private Catholic high school in Scottsdale, in 2007 and was inducted into the school's Hall of Fame in 2021. Let me just get to the point, the part that talks about the thing that nobody talks about. Here, I think it might be somewhere around here. At age 19, Franz launched a nonprofit called Everyday Heroes Like You with her mother. So that was the same year she graduated high school. It focused on providing children in hospitals with toys, books, and games, according to paperwork filled with the state. In 2017, she started the Arizona Foothills Charitable Foundations, a local magazine. The foundation has gone inactive. Sorry, I did read through this a couple of times. It's almost like this is the wrong article. Let me see. I think it might be somewhere around here. The clothing brand that she had was a manifestation of her commitment to living out her beliefs boldly and encouraging others to do the same. It stated on her website. To support the early days of those charitable efforts, she turned to pageants. She said she wanted to leverage her influence and following to give back to the community. My mom used to take us to soup kitchens and constantly said we needed to share our blessings with others, she told the Arizona Foothills in the summer of 2012. When I learned that by competing I could touch more people, further my causes, I knew it was a chance to make a greater impact. How Erica became Miss Arizona. Here it is. In 2007, she won the National American Miss Teen Arizona pageant. During the talent portion of the contest, she bridged her love and skills of basketball by performing a dribbling exhibition with 2 balls. Miss Arizona USA competition, falling just short of the title first runner-up spot. See, that's not really mentioned either. I mean, that's honorable if you're in a pageant and you get the first runner-up spot. The 2012 pageant would prove to be her year. She won Miss Arizona USA on her 23rd birthday in November 2011. So I wonder if there's anything she had to do to increase her odds of winning between that that would have been 2010 and then 2011. That's funny. So she was named Miss Arizona for 2012, but in November of 2011. So 2010 is when she came in first runner up, and she might have done some things to help grease the wheels, like sharpen her skills and stuff, right? Figure out more contouring. Is that what they call it? I don't even know. I don't really mess around with too much makeup. The honor allowed her to compete in the 2012 Miss USA competition, which was owned by President Donald Trump at the time. Before the contest, she told the Arizona Foothills that she planned to use her title throughout the year to promote her charities. What really matters is making a difference. I want to change the world, she said. The bling is just a bonus. I'm going to keep reading because she wears a lot of hats. This is about her meeting Charlie Kirk. If you want to read through this, the link is in the description. He said, I am a moderate compared to Erica. Erica is very conservative. That's kind of scary and inconsistent with some of the photographs that I've found of her in doing some digging. She does not look moderate or conservative, in my humble opinion. So is that the whole article? Yeah, this might be a different article than the one that I thought it was, but at least it had that part, because it's really hard to find anything about that 2007. Like I said, everything online about her, it's like she didn't even exist. Hey, hello there. If you want to say hi in the chat, please do. But she was also a real estate agent. That's the part that I was looking for. She just kind of had her hands in too many things, but all of the things that she had her hands in were things that would be good fronts for cleaning money, if you catch my drift. So philanthropic charities are really good for that. Real estate is excellent for that. So she started, I mentioned this one in 2017, she started the Foothills Charitable Foundation with Michael D., the publisher and CEO of Arizona Foothills, a local magazine. That foundation has gone inactive according to corporate filings with the state. 2 years later, she turned her focus to building up a new project called Proclaim Ventures LLC that turned into a clothing and lifestyle brand called Proclaim 365 that supported Bible and 365, the ministry arm of Proclaim, according to the website. Based in New York, Proclaim 365 sold baby blankets, t-shirts, bags, and household items with the company's branding and scripture verses. By shopping with the brand, the company said it helped advance a mission rooted in the Bible. It said its products were made in the U.S., and it was making every effort to partner with American seamstresses, manufacturers, and fabric mills. Yeah, it doesn't have the part in this one about her being a real estate agent, I don't think. Unless it was at the beginning and I missed it. But yeah, so she's a real estate agent on top of, like, a stay-at-home mom, working on her doctorate, touring the world, speaking. That doesn't add up. Her and Charlie push for this whole, like, traditional wife staying home barefoot and pregnant, but yet she's out there doing things that she wouldn't be able to do if she was spending much time taking care of the kids. I know I have 4 kids. It's rough. Everybody knows that has kids how rough it is. Um, so September 18th announced naming her as the organization's new CEO and board chair, just over a week after Charlie was fatally shot while speaking at a public event. So yeah, the thing that I think is the most suspicious about his shooting is the fact that none of the security detail drew their weapons when there's an active shooter in the audience, and there's like 3,000 people there, and they all had, no, this is why I can't touch anything, but I must. This is called Living Dangerously. Should I try it, or should I just, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to not do that. I'm going to take a little light and just put it right there. And it's not yellow, but it won't bug you guys. It'll bug me because it's white instead of yellow, but it's better than having it blank. I could turn all of them off and then it wouldn't bug me at all. I'm actually thinking of getting rid of this for my videos. Dang it, Nancy, look at you. No pictures of her pregnant. Good point. I don't think I saw any pictures of her pregnant, and I found a plethora of photographs of her last night. How are you, my dear? And yeah, I mean, a lot of women, especially like models and actresses, a lot of them have surrogate mothers. So it might be their egg and their husband's zygote, but not growing it in their own body because, you know, the whole gaining weight thing that models and beauty pageant winners tend to not be so fond of, right? They never said that she gave birth to them, and for all we know, she could have adopted them, or she could have had a surrogate. It's a good point. In Taylor's room, his screensaver was New Zealand. Cash Patel said in Taylor's room. Oh, Taylor, the alleged shooter. So yeah, the fact that nobody drew their guns, dang it, Nancy. I said this in my last video, and it embarrassed me that I had not thought of that. And I want to kick credit to the channel that I saw talking about it, which was Mama D on 1111 True Crime. And I think she said she got it from 1 or 2 other channels. I can't think of their names right now. I'll try to put the links in the description. It was a Black man content creator who I'm kind of new to. And I don't know if I'd be able to find it if I tried. It has an interesting name. Let's see if I do 1111 and look at her last video. Let's see if she has it in her description of her last live. No, she's got a new one from 6 hours ago that I haven't watched yet. I don't know if I've watched this one from 2 days ago. Yeah, I think that's the one. But it might be the one from 5 days ago. Let's see. I'm going to look at the description and see if she has a link in the description to. Dang it. I don't think she does. Nope. Not in that one. Let's see about the other one. I know she mentions them. She gives them a shout out, but I don't know if she's the type to put links in her descriptions. It doesn't look like it. I mean, she has links in there, but not to the video that she was referring to. Right. Dang it, Nancy. And look, I have my cursor, so I won't be cursing. Cash Patel. I like to call him Cash App Patrell. I'll try to control my lips. Cash App Patel. There we go. It's a little late. I'm tired. It's so rough to talk with these dumb things. But you know what? They're working so well already. The gap that I got them to fix is almost completely gone. And it's only been like a month and a half, less than 2 months. I can't believe it's gone. I could show you, but that might be annoying for me to like stick my teeth in the screen, so I won't. It's right here. It used to be a really big gap, and it's not anymore. It's just amazing. Cash Patel said, see you in Valhalla. Valhalla, New Zealand is a witness protection program. Honestly, I'm going with Hawaii real estate theory. Dang it, Nancy. I have some idea of what Hawaii real estate theory is. His theory is that Charlie's still alive. In my heart of hearts, my intuition tells me that he's not, but I could be incorrect. I mean, there's so many goofy things about the shooting, and the fact that none of the security detail drew their weapons when there's an active shooter, and they don't know how much ammo he has. They don't know if he's just after Charlie or if he's out for anybody. They don't know if it's more than one person. Like, they don't know any of that, and not a single one of them drew their weapon. That's like blaring red flags. And it, like I said, it's embarrassing to me that I didn't think of that. And this is why I'm always saying it's so easy for any of us to get gaslit, because the whole thing was so mind-boggling. One of the biggest giveaways for me that this whole thing was propaganda to begin with was just the fact that it was all over the internet. People get red rummed on camera all the time. I mean, probably every single day in this country. A lot of surveillance cameras are going to catch red rums inadvertently. Some people want to videotape their red rums for Lord knows a variety of reasons we don't need to go into. But it's not that uncommon to have red rums be videotaped, believe it or not. But you're never going to see them online. You're not going to see them on regular internet. I'm sure you can see them on the dark web. So the fact that Charlie's red rum was all over the internet, just like that Irina, the woman who was unalived with a sharp-edged object in the same place on her neck the month before. I think it was August 22nd in North Carolina. Her last name starts with a Z. Let me see. I wasn't expecting to talk about her, but you can probably still see her red rum on the airwaves. So why would they leave hers up and take Charlie's down? It makes no sense. They wanted to put his up to spread the lie, in my opinion. Let's see, what are you saying here? Does it hurt? It hurts me seeing you. You know, it does hurt a lot to have braces, and I apologize if it hurts you to watch me. It's nuts how much it hurts. And at the same time, you kind of get used to it. So it's a cross. And, you know, I have wax, and I haven't used it in a long time. I probably should use it because that gives your mouth a break. It gives your the inside of your mouth a chance to heal. It doesn't even take very long, just a few hours. Let's see. Irina Zaruska. And you can still watch these videos. It's insane. It's absolutely crazy. So a couple of things that bring these two homicides together, Irina and Charlie, is that Tenacious D spoke about both of them right after they happened. So, you know, he doesn't speak about very many homicides. I mean, there's homicides every day. But yeah, you can watch the entire Red Rum happen. It's 2 minutes and 21 seconds. It's completely insane. And this is weird because it's a title of a CNN video. Was, I think it's Irina is how you say it. It's Iryna. Was Irina Zaruska's Red Rum a turning point? So was that just a quinky dink that they said turning point? Because uh, Charlie Kirk was one of the few content creators that was covering her homicide, and he was covering it with disgust that other people weren't covering it. Primary reason is to affect the psyche of American people, but why can't we see the Idaho 4 victims? Such a good point. Dang it, Nancy. Right. And why can't we see the freaking videotape of Kylie Rodney when she was a missing person and they were asking for the public's help to find her, and they were pretending that they had a still shot of her from the surveillance camera in that East Lake convenience store in Delhi? If you're trying to find a missing person, why not show the video footage? Because a still shot only captures one angle. It's not a really good way to try to get a perfect description of somebody. But we don't even know if that was Kylie in that still shot. And yeah, there's, say for instance, Gabby Petito. It was a year after her homicide that suddenly that surveillance footage of her and Brian Laundrie shopping at the Whole Foods grocery store, and it looked like shoplifting at the Whole Foods grocery store. That didn't come to the surface for a year. And that the other shops that they went into had surveillance cameras as well. Like even that restaurant where they had that whole scuttlebutt going on, Mary Piglet's. So I understand like not releasing that type of stuff to the public initially. But again, I mean, with like the Whole Foods video footage, it might have taken the investigators a while to find that. But when she was a missing person, if they had that and they could have put that out there to try to help find her, that would have been good. But yeah, these cases are just crazy. And Idaho 4 is particularly insane. And the Charlie Kirk is particularly insane as well. Have you ever watched Esoteric Atlanta, a YouTube channel? She's also a master yoga instructor. I think I saw her recently. I think you'd find her very intriguing. I love this late night get together. Oh, well, I'm so glad. So I wanted to come on late last night when I first found the information, and I scheduled this video. And then, it's a Saturday and my busy family. So I thought I'd try to get it done earlier in the evening, but I had to push it back a couple of times. Esoteric Atlanta, I think I just found that recently. Let me look. Esoteric Atlanta. Is this the channel that I saw? Probably, because yeah, she's covering the some of the Charlie Kirk stuff and the black magic stuff. Yeah, I think I did come across her recently. But I'll check her out. Thank you for the recommendation. Yeah, so I've watched some of the Hawaii real estate stuff about Charlie, But one of the things that gets me, dang it, Nancy, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, is it seemed to me that he and the brush junkie were basing a lot of their theory about Charlie Kirk shooting on the fact that they thought that that chair went through the table. Or, you know what I'm talking about? Like right after he was sniped. And I don't personally believe that the chair is going through the table. If it is going through the table, then yeah, that's a sign that it's AI, and that's kind of what leads their whole theory, in my understanding. Um, but I think it's an optical illusion. Like I've said again and again with this, I mean, you can see the optical illusions even with, like, look how big this hand looks compared to this one. And I'm only sitting at the slightest angle, and it's only like a few inches different. But, you know, I mean, look how tiny this hand looks. There's so many optical illusions with these computer screens. So it's my belief from looking at that footage very closely, because it is fascinating. And I did a little like rendition of this with whatever I could find laying around here. I think it was my notebook and this little pad of paper. That if this is the table, and here it's like this. So this is the table, and then we'll say that this is the chair, and it goes through the table, and then it comes back out of the table, I think. But it's my belief that it's two different tables, and that it might not even be a table, that it might be like a table and maybe a cork board or whiteboard, or maybe a table that's standing up. So it looks like the chair is going through, but in my opinion, it's not. That's just my opinion. So I don't follow their theories about what happened to him. The thing that guides me the most is like, why the F was it all over the airwaves and then taken down? It should have never been on the airwaves to begin with. And then the thing about that none of the security detail drew their weapons is absolutely effing crazy. Like, that right there is the biggest giveaway, period. But yeah, I am totally in cahoots with that comment that you made that I highlighted last. The primary reason is to affect the psyche of American people, but why can't we see the Idaho 4 victims? And do you mean like, why can't we see them, you know, even like behind the screens while they're removing them from the residence? Because I am hung up on that too. Have you ever, okay, that I read, we should meet up and have a slumber party. Oh, that's cute. Have a sleepover. Yes, absolutely. So the thing that I love about doing this is it's therapeutic for me. I hope it's therapeutic for you too. It's crowdsourcing. So I'm trying to get these things figured out, and I want to put my ideas out on the airwaves so that other people can put their heads together. Like, I want more people to look into what was going on with Erica before 2021. Like that thing that I just read, I never even caught that she had been the first runner up in 2011. So I knew she was the fourth runner up in Colorado in 2010. And I think she competed in a previous Miss Colorado. So she went to college in Colorado. So that's why she competed there. But she won the Miss Teen in 2007. And I've only found that information in two separate places. And the first place that I found it, I don't know if I can go back and retrieve it. Which is why I was going to say, you know, I don't know if that's valid. And then fortunately last night I found this other article, And I know that it's not the same article because the first article that I read about it was like super short. Like it was pretty much only about her Miss Teen stuff. So the fact that the internet tries to like start the recording of her life history basically at 2012 is interesting. Like, what are they hiding? Why are there no photographs of her from the 2007 Miss Teen pageant online? When information is scrubbed, that's a big, big giveaway. Huge. So one of the other things that I found that I haven't heard anybody talking about, and I made a video about it a couple of days ago, and I'm not real good at like making these videos for all the clickbait. I know that I kind of suck at that, but that's okay. I'm just here doing my thing, getting my therapy and seeing if people want group therapy with me. Another one that is really important to me to try to crowdsource and get other people to look into is the information that I found about that Michigan shooter that set the Mormon church on fire last weekend. I found information about pedo charges against him in Colorado 11 years ago, 2014, I think. I've taken screenshots of some of the information and put them in community posts. But man, nobody wants to talk about him with that type of background, with the pedophile background, because he was also MAGA. And it seems like there's so many of these MAGA folks getting busted for that. Absolutely. And another thing that's really weird about the University Valley, is it called University Valley of Utah? I think it's UVU. Utah Valley University. That's what it is. My brain is working almost. People allegedly were recording with their cell phones, noticing that there was a guy on the roof and videotaping it. That's a huge red flag. Like, you see somebody up on a roof like that, and you should alert someone, because it's very likely that they're up to no good. But it was the same thing in Butler, Pennsylvania, last July of 2024, when Donnie had his alleged assassination attempt. There were people that videotaped, what was his name? I can't even remember his name right now. You know who I'm talking about. The kid that they said that shot at the president-elect Thomas Crooks. Yeah, I think that's it, right? What was that woman doing kissing a mannequin's hands? No way that was him. Now they made it into black and white video. Yeah, that is disgusting. I know what you're talking about with Erica Kirk and what is allegedly Charlie's corpse. Those don't look like real hands to me at all. They never did, and it's really creepy. I don't think that that's for real. I think it's insane how much, like, so many of these channels, like Candace, what's her last name? You know, Candace. She's the one who started Turning Point with Charlie. She is just completely wild and crazy with all of her stuff too. And I think she's a chaos agent about it. I really do. Candace Owens. Yeah, it is getting late for my brain to work. It's only 11:15 and I can't even think straight. And what was she doing all over Trump's junk? Jazz, I think you have a hatred love for him deep inside. Go deep, my dear, then come back into the light. I do. I mean, I understand people that worship him. He's despicable, but I am very focused on him, not just for shits and giggles. It's because I am seriously concerned that he's in the process of destroying our democracy to a point that we're not going to be able to return. I think he's trying to out Adolf. That's my opinion. And I feel like it's imperative for me to stay focused on it, to keep my eye on the ball, because I just feel like we all need to do whatever it is that we can to stay focused. And that if we all work together and resist the fascism, that we can stand up to it and resist the fascism. That what they're banking on is people capitulating in advance and also not talking about it, because talking about it, you might sound obsessive, you might sound paranoid, you might sound like a conspiracy theorist, or it's just unpleasant. It really is unpleasant. So that's why I try to mix a lot of comedy in there too. I mean, he's a joke. He's an absolute joke. And he's been MIA again ever since that disaster TED Talk that they gave in Quantico on Tuesday. And it's hilarious. It's like, when he's not in the news media, it's like, oh my God, he must be deceased, right? He put out a video last night, just like a 1 minute and 11 second video, I think it was, where he's sitting at his Resolute desk and he's doing the thing with his hands that he always does. And one of the fingers is like up in the air the entire 1 minute and 11 seconds. And his hands don't move at all the entire video, except at one point when he's real emotional and he kind of like knocks them on the desk 3 or 4 times, I think. I'll have to watch it again. We could watch it together. I put a link to it in my community post, because I'm just like, this is AI. I mean, I've studied some of what to look for to figure out if something's AI or not. And one of the things that you look for or you listen for is the real monotone voice and kind of like the weird sound, because, sound is weird. But when it's AI, it's very like boxed and robotic sounding and the voice doesn't fluctuate. But let me see what you're saying here. You love her. Oh, who do I love? Candace or Erica? I'm not sure. Tell me who you're talking about, dang it, Nancy, please. Now I'm so curious. But yeah, I mean, there's a fine line between love and hate. Absolutely. And, if Tenacious D would just put his energy in good places, he could do wonders for himself and for everybody else. So here, let's see if I can play the video for you. Should be able to.
Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so many others. So many people fought so hard. This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down and concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages, unfortunately, the condition they're in, come home likewise to their parents, because their parents wanted them just as much as though that young man or young woman were alive. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented, but thank you all, and thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East. And we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
It's a bizarre video. Everybody will be treated fairly.
My fiance got this ring from.
That's very bizarre. So I'm just looking to see what the what channel it was. It's CBN News. Is that right? I don't even know what that is. CBN News. It says it has 2.57 million subs, but I don't know. CBN. See, I thought it was CBS at first. And the video only has a couple 100,000 views, and that's weird. I mean, if it was a real video, I would think it would have a lot more than that. So it's 1 minute and 11 seconds, and it was released yesterday. And this is probably fake news. It's titled President Trump Issues Powerful Statement in Response to Hamas's Acceptance of Peace Plan. Yeah, it's pretty wild. CBN. I really think I was tricked by that I thought it said CBS. What do you think? Dang it, Nancy. I saw what you said about, okay, no more politics. They're all in on it together. It's like a bunch of kindergartners out of control. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. So, yeah. Why are they hiding the fact that Erica won that 2007 teen pageant? She would have been 19, I think. Why are they hiding that? She started the Everyday Heroes in 2006 when she was only 18 years old. And then the real estate group that she's allegedly a real estate agent for is called the Corcoran. Corcoran. Corcoran Group. Oh, so like artificial intelligence has scrubbed the searches for dementia with Tenacious D. You can't find a connection with those with artificial intelligence. So scrubbing these things is highly suspicious. But yeah, I think whatever it is that's in the Trumpstein files is so much worse than we could ever imagine. It's my opinion that that's why all this insane crap is just out of control. Out of control. He's always begging for money too in his emails that he sends out to his MAGA base. And it's like, I thought he's making billions of dollars. Why is he begging common folk for $10 and $15? That doesn't make any sense. But he doesn't make any sense. Check the tariff shelf, he said, when they were looking for the $17 trillion. No, they found the $17 trillion and they didn't know where it came from. And he's telling this story and he says, so I said, check the tariff shelf. And they went and checked the tariff shelf and they came back to me and they said, sir, you are correct. We found the $17 trillion was from the tariffs. We found it in the tariff shelf. This is some crazy ass brain activity. Even worse than my brain activity. So I did want to make a correction. I was talking the other day, probably my last video or the one before that, about Magic Mike Johnson and his Grindr account, but I said Tinder account. And there was that whole thing where this guy on TikTok said that he found Magic Mike Johnson's Grindr account and that he was going to reveal it if the Trumpstein files weren't released by Wednesday. And then he put up more videos saying that his life was being threatened, and he hired an attorney, and he gave what he found to a mainstream media news company. And this whole thing, like a lot of drama. But allegedly, there's a Grindr account with a lot of stuff that Mike Johnson doesn't want released. So anyway, I called it Tinder, not Grindr, because Tinder is more like regular mainstream dating app or hookup app, I think is specifically what Tinder is. Grindr is more for like same-sex adventure, I do believe. I'm not sure. Fortunately, I haven't had to check out dating apps. That's like way before my time. I was out of the dating scene way before dating apps came around. That would drive me nuts. That would absolutely drive me nuts. I love Candace Owens' passion and Megyn Kelly. They're not afraid to say it like it is, just like you, Jess. Dang it, Nancy, I adore you, and I adore that you love their passion. Sometimes I think they're amazing, and then half the time I think they're flipping nuts. Like sometimes they can be so sharp, those two women, Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens, and then 1 second later they're completely insane, and I'm just like, why? Especially Megyn. I see Megyn like kind of snapping out of it and going for what's real. And then it's like somebody has taken her aside and talked to her. And the next time she's out and about, she's backtracking and recanting her statements and stuff. I mean, they're both extraordinarily articulate and intelligent and gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. But I wish they would just keep it real. I mean, I think that they are both paid puppets, basically. I don't think they're just out there expressing their own opinions. If they were, I don't think they would be sounding so incongruent to me. So I don't know. Maybe it's hard. It's hard when you're working for a corporation. I know I've worked for corporations in the past, not as a YouTuber, and I wouldn't want to work for a corporation as a YouTuber. But just as a mental health professional, when you're working for a bureaucracy, you don't have the freedom to say things the way you want to say them. Like, it's insane. Like, it's not until you get into private practice that you realize how restrained you've been from working in a hospital or working for a mental health facility, working for the government, for the county or courts. You're just not free to speak your mind and speak your heart. And that's what I love about having my own YouTube channel, is that, I'm barely making any money with it. It'd be nice to make money, but I'm not going to say certain things or not say certain things in order to make money. That's totally not my thing. That was so creepy. I've seen your crush at times where it honestly doesn't look like him. Wait, what? Now I'm so confused. Is there a typo in there, or am I just not getting what you said? It's maybe there's some comments that you've made that I can't see because I was on top chat. I just changed it to live chat. Oh yeah. Okay. So I missed these. I apologize, Nancy. Thank you for your patience. There's a whole bunch that I missed. Let me see. I think, yes, the man trapper, whatever you call it, is 1000% no blood trail again. I think he was in deep and had to get out before they really got him. So I did not see that comment, dang it, Nancy. And that is a really good comment. Let me highlight that one. I don't think I saw it anyway. Sometimes my eyes skip over them, but I think because I hadn't changed it to live chat, it was just top chat. I don't think it showed up in my feed. And the trap door under Charlie, you're probably talking about, because yeah, he was up on a stage that was a few feet off the ground, and then there was like that trap door, and then there's like they're laying pavers down over where his tent was. And I know Candace has shown a lot of that footage, and a lot of the channels have showed a lot of that footage. So yeah, and the none of the red stuff. So let me address the last sentence there. I think he was in deep and had to get out before they really got him. I totally believe that whole thing with the lunch that happened in the Hamptons a couple weeks ago, and there was the guy Bill Ackman, one of those, who allegedly offered him the $150 million to promote Israel, everything that Bibi wants without question. And he refused the offer, allegedly came back and told people in his close circle that he felt like he was being blackmailed and that he was concerned about his safety. That was a couple of weeks before this alleged shooting. So I think that's what you're talking about. I think he was in deep and had to get out before they really got him. And then the whole thing with the Trumpstein files too. He was in really deep with that family. I mean, he goes way back with Tenacious D's kids and with Tenacious D, but also Charlie Kirk's dad was an architect for Trump Corporation in the 80s. So Charlie wasn't born until the 90s, I think 1993, but his dad was already an employee or contracting with the Trump Industries. And then Erica's family, I'm really curious about, because her mother worked for the Department of Defense and Homeland Security in Arizona, and her dad worked on the Iron Dome and the Golden Dome. Trump's gone on and on and on about the Golden Dome. So I don't know for sure that Erica's parents knew Donnie. I don't know how long they've known him, or I don't know anything about that. But I'm going to guess that she knew him at least by 2012, because when she won Miss Arizona, she would have competed at the Miss America, which Tenacious D owned. So I don't know if he owned the company that the Miss Teen Arizona would have then competed for Miss Teen USA. I've tried to look into that and I can't really find an answer. But let's see. What else did I miss? I think I missed this one. No, I saw that one. I didn't see this one, Nancy. I don't think it showed up in my feed. How can you believe Biden actually got 80 million votes when he never came out of his basement? In my opinion, Obama had his third term and admitted it. Kamala sucked her way to the top. Oh, dang it, Nancy, that's just mean. I mean, yeah. I mean, I never wanted to get into politics with all the shenanigans that happens with everyone in politics. I mean, you could make an argument that everyone is corrupt, but hopefully not everyone is corrupt, but certainly almost everybody. Kamala, the only thing I really hold against Kamala Harris is that she was like the state attorney general for California when this one woman, I believe, was red rummed by the police in Malibu, California. And Kamala would not look into it. And it was really creepy. I wonder if I can find it without the names. Let me see. Black woman in her 20s who disappeared after leaving the Malibu jail after being arrested from a restaurant. Yeah, it pulled it right up. Wikipedia, death of Mitrice Richardson. Dang, you gotta love AI sometimes. The woman who disappeared after being released from the Malibu jail was 24-year-old Mitrice Richardson. She went missing on September 17th, 2009, and her remains were found nearly a year later in a remote canyon. The case has since been marked by controversy and allegations of mismanagement by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And I hold Kamala responsible for this because she didn't do jack. Um, so let me see if she was arrested for failing to pay a dinner bill at Jeffrey's restaurant in Malibu. Restaurant staff called the police because of her erratic behavior. It sounded like she was probably high and maybe had bipolar disorder, and she was extremely attractive and was like flirting with people at the restaurant to try to get them to pay her bill or something, maybe. Despite her behavior, which her family attributed to a bipolar episode, sheriff's deputies released Richardson from the remote station after midnight. She was left alone with no car, money, or cell phone. Also, I've seen coverage about her case on probably like 2020 or something like that. You can see the surveillance camera of her like leaving the jail, and then one of the officers like literally like chases after her. Like it looks so obvious that he's probably the one who assaulted her and took her life. Her skeletal remains were discovered by park rangers in a secluded Malibu canyon in August 2010, 11 months after she disappeared. The LA County Sheriff's Department insisted there was no foul play, but her family challenged this claim. The coroner's office could not determine the cause of death. Well, of course not, especially if she was just like suffocated and then her bones were found a year later. Lawsuits and investigations. Richardson's family sued LA County for negligence and settled for just under $1 million. Subsequent investigations by the California AG's office found no grounds for criminal charges against the deputies involved. And the AG was Kamala Harris back then. Public attention. The case drew public outcry and accusations of racial bias, suggesting that the authorities did not take her disappearance seriously because she was a Black woman. The handling of her release and the recovery of her remains have been heavily criticized. So, yeah, I mean, I think that Kamala Harris dated Gavin Newsom at some point in time, but dang it, Nancy, did you know that Newsom's ex-wife, what's her name, is the one who was engaged to Tenacious D Jr. for 5 years? So Newsom was married to this woman for 6 years, I think. Um, Gavin Newsom's ex-wife, Kimberly Guilfoyle. So Kimberly Guilfoyle was engaged to Tenacious D Jr. for 5 years about, and she recently was appointed to be the ambassador to Greece, which I've kind of equated to like being the ambassador of your toilet. It's like a nothing job. It's basically like to send someone away just to get rid of them. There's allegations that Don Sr. had an affair with her while she was engaged to his son. But the whole relationship there with Gavin Newsom having been married to her is another one of these things why I'm like, why don't people talk about this? I think it's so relevant the way he's always after Gavin Newsom. I mean, him and Gavin have like the weirdest sword fighting thing going on. And it's very personal. I mean, they've got a very personal history together through an ex of his son and an ex of Gavin's. It's just bizarre. But anyway, I brought up Gavin Newsom because, yeah, I do think that Kamala Harris was dating him at some point in time. And I know she was dating like a mayor of San Francisco or something like that. But my personal feelings about her is that she's not my favorite, but that she's decent. I mean, Biden and Obama, I've got my criticisms of them too, although overall I am supportive of both of them. But like Obama let me down massively on 2 counts. One was when he to drink the water in Flint, Michigan, when their water was poisoned. And what's that guy's name? Michael, that did like the 9/11 and the 11/9. 9/11. Michael Moore. Okay. See, when my brain doesn't work, thank goodness I have that. So Michael Moore he did a whole bunch of documentaries, but he did 9/11, and then he did one called 11/9. And it's in the 11/9 one that he talks about the thing with the water in Flint. And he happens to be from Flint, Michigan. But another thing Obama did that was also extremely atrocious was with that Otto Warmbier, who was like a kid in his early 20s, who was from Cincinnati, Ohio. He went to North Korea. He stole a poster, and then he was put in a North Korean prison. They nabbed him at the airport as he was like loading onto the airplane. Literally, he was killed because he stole a poster. And it was like this North Korean weird New Year's adventure that he went on with this group of people for rich kids. But when North Korea sent him back, he was pretty much a vegetable. And where Obama really, really disappointed me, like the worst, was that he had told the family all along that he had it under control and just to like trust him and that he'd get their son home safely. And so they did trust him, and it's absolutely devastating. I don't think it's his fault that North Korea did that to Otto Warmbier, but I do think it's his fault to sell himself as like that he's going to be able to get something done when he doesn't know if he's going to be able to get it done or not. Because, like I said, the family was loaded and they had a lot of resources. They could have gotten like private attorneys or private eyes or something. Maybe. I mean, it's North Korea, so maybe not, right? But I just thought he was really like smarmy the way he handled it. And then Biden, if Biden would have not tried to be a contender in the last election and just allowed the Democratic Party to select somebody. And this is a really good question that you have here. I've seen your crush at times where it honestly doesn't look like him. I'm still curious what you mean by that one. Dang it, Nancy. But let me get caught up. So one that didn't come up in my feed before was, why didn't Biden bring out the Epstein files? And you know what he did to his first wife and daughter and her diary. I saw Taylor Swift in one of her concerts. I'll try to find it and send it to you. I saw Taylor Swift PP in one of her concerts. I don't know what that means. Like pee-pee? Like golden shower? I have no idea. But yeah, please send it to me. You know my email, justicetooz@gmail.com. And yeah, I mean, I think that Biden probably didn't bring out the Epstein files because he was trying to protect Clinton. And I don't know what you're referring to, what he did to his wife and daughter in the diary. I'm unaware. I mean, I know that there's people that have talked about him being morbidly inappropriate with his daughter, but I've not seen anything convincing me of that. I mean, I don't know if that's accurate or not. I think that Clinton being all over the Epstein files is why the Democrats didn't release them when they could have and should have. I mean, I don't care who's in the files if it's somebody that I'm a supporter of, like Al Franken. I was a huge supporter of Al Franken, and I still am. He stepped down from his position in the government when a female comedian stepped forward and said that he had been inappropriate with her, and they were doing a comic thing together, and it was like part of their sketch, is my understanding. So, but as soon as that whole thing started, he just bowed out. He didn't feel like fighting it, and I thought that was a pretty tasteful way to handle it. Although, sometimes you do need to fight things. His hoe wife's mom was into government CIA. It gets to where it just hurts my brain. His hoe wife's mom. Oh, are you talking about Charlie Kirk's wife's mother was into the government? Please respond, because I could see that with her Homeland Security and Department of Defense. Weird. And then Erica's company, the nonprofit Romanian Angels, that she allegedly was like in Romania with U.S. Marines and was accused of transporting humans, and not just for the horrible adult kind of crap, but also for medical purposes. That insanity. So allegedly Erica was like banned from Romania, allegedly. So I don't know if that is who you're referring to, the hoe wife mom. Well, that when she was at Nobu, that was so terribly sad. And I don't know Nobu. I'm not familiar with that. Who was that old man Kamala was dating in her early years? I am not sure. Like when she was dating Gavin Newsom and when she was dating the guy who is the mayor of San Francisco, I think he was close to her age, but maybe he was older. Let me see what AI knows about that. Because I think he was still married, and that's one of the reasons people slam her for that. Let's see. Kamala Harris dated San Francisco mayor Willie Brown. Of course, it was Willie Brown. I knew that. Harris faces scrutiny for her past relationship with Mayor Willie Brown. What's the age difference between Kamala Harris and Willie Brown? Oh my goodness, that must be the one you're talking about. 30-year age difference. Holy kaboli. So she's just 3 years older than I am. She was born in 64 and he was born in 34, which is like, I want to say my grandparents, but my grandparents were probably born in the 20s and my mom was born in the 40s. Dang. So when they dated, how old was Kamala when she dated Willie Brown? So she was 29 years old and he was 60 years old back in 1994. That's funny because that's when I was living in San Francisco as well in 1994. That was the year that I moved there for graduate school. 29 years old and he was 60. So he was more than twice her age. And I'm pretty sure he was still married. Separation from wife. Though still legally married to his wife, Blanche, at the time, Brown had been separated from her for more than a decade before he and Harris dated. All right. Well, yeah, that's probably who you were talking about then. So, yeah, I don't know what the Nobu is. Was that when she was at Nobu? That was so terribly sad. I don't know what Nobu is. Let me see if AI can help my brain on that one too. Oh, the restaurant? Nobu restaurant? Or what is Nobu? Global luxury brand empire co-founded by Japanese celebrity chef and Robert De Niro. Okay. Oh, so Nobu is a celebrity chef. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about or something else. Jez, the fires in Hawaii and Malibu explain so much about our government and they're not to be trusted. Yeah, the Hawaii fire, Lahaina, was insane. I completely agree with you on that. And also, specifically, the Pacific Palisades fire this last year, a year ago. That was out of control crazy. When was the Palisade fire? Pacific Palisade fire. I mean, that whole thing was so bizarre. And, you know, I lived in Malibu. The Palisades is not an area that would burn down. I mean, all parts of Malibu would burn down because it was surrounded by brush. But the Palisades was more urban. So it was January 7th and extinguished the 31st. 1st. That was just completely nuts. Um, 1st. 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 1 Michelle has a PP, right? His name is Michael. Oh, Obama? Michelle Obama? No, I don't know that. I know that there's rumors about that, but I think she's got good arm muscles that would support the rumors, but I don't think so. I think that those two children, the girls, are biologically theirs. Miss Swifty has a penis chest. Dang it, Nancy, you're cracking me up. I don't know about that at all. I mean, she would have transitioned when she was like 12 years old, because I've seen a lot of photos and videos of her when she was 12, when her family and her first moved to Nashville to get her career off the ground. Where did they move from? Was it like Michigan or Ohio? Where did Taylor Swift and her family move to Nashville from? Pennsylvania, when she was 14. Okay. She was born in Reading, Pennsylvania, and spent her early childhood on a Christmas tree farm in the area before her family relocated to Tennessee. So yeah, I was close. Michigan and Ohio are right next to Pennsylvania. I knew it was somewhere around here. Yes, she got kicked out of Romania for moving children. What is wrong with people? Dang, Nancy, you are like chock full of facts, man. So some of these things that I am not in alignment with you, I don't know. Maybe you're right about these things, because I think you're right about a lot of it. Nobu in Malibu, the girl that went missing and was found very close to the captain of the police department. I thought it was Jeffrey's restaurant in Malibu. And yeah, that place has been around forever. That was there. I haven't been to Malibu in decades, but when I lived there was like early 80s. It was the last time that I lived there, and it was around then. I don't think Nobu was there back then. Carlos and Pepe's was there. There was a restaurant called like Moon Shadows or something like that was like right on the water, close to the Pacific Palisades. Was it Moon Shadows? Moon Shadows Restaurant, Pacific Coast Highway. Moon Shadows Malibu, it's still there. OMG. Yep. 20356 Pacific Coast Highway. Tiki themed patio perched over the Pacific. I mean, it's a pretty romantic place. It says $50 to $100 per person, which actually seems pretty reasonable in this day and age for eating steak on the water like that. So yeah, the Matrice Richardson, I think is her name. And yeah, when I first found out about her case, I was just sickened. And then it was a long time later, I think it was Shan that clued me into Harris being the attorney general at the time. Or maybe Shan just hated Harris and I knew about the thing with Matrice Richardson, so I wasn't going to defend Harris. I mean, I know you and I got to experience Malibu before it got all corrupted. My daughters and Monterey, and I'm going next month. So you're probably doing voice to text, and you probably said, My daughter's in Monterey and I'm going next month. Monterey is gorgeous. And I'm trying to remember, isn't that like way north, like halfway up to San Francisco? Like by Carmel? Gorgeous, gorgeous area. Monterey, California. Let's see. Yeah, it's like halfway up the state. Or not halfway. Yeah, almost halfway up the state. Um, and I mean, San Francisco is pretty far south. So, yeah, it's right between the Bay Area and Los Angeles area, closer to the Bay Area. Yeah, I love Monterey. And Laguna, that's, I wasn't sure for a minute if it was like down by Laguna or up by Carmel. It's been a minute. It's been like a million years. I mean, California is gorgeous. It's just so damn expensive and crowded. And other places are gorgeous too. So I didn't know that you experienced Malibu back then. Do you want to say what state you're in now? Dang it, Nancy. And thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. It's been lovely. Um, the my brain is shutting down. Those Trumpstein files, man, they just need to release the Trumpstein files before the Tenacious D hits the nuclear code to try to avoid it, to try to distract. Yeah. I mean, he's just in full panic mode. I would put nothing past him. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up, my darling. If you want to say anything, speak now or forever hold your peace. It's been like an hour and a half. I'm sorry that I'm so like slow in the brain, but that's what happens as it gets closer to midnight. It's fun to hang out with you. We had a little block party, a little neighborhood block party, which was what was going on. I had initially scheduled this to be at 5:30, but the block party was from 5 until 8. So then I pushed it back to 9:30, and then I had moved some stuff in my set, and that always takes me forever to get things settled after I move stuff. See, I put the mic a new way. I think it's better that way. I had it standing, but I think I like it better like this. So that took me a while to get it worked out. I thought you were talking about Matrice Richardson. Look it up, Jazz. Yeah, Matrice Richardson was at the Jeffries. I'm pretty positive, but let me double check. The restaurant Matrice Richardson was at when she got arrested. I said her name so weird. But it figured it out. Yeah, it says Jeffries. So is Nubo in Malibu too? Nubo restaurant. So it looks like they're like it's a chain. So there's Chicago. Is there one in Malibu? Locations. There's one in New York. Canada, Mexico, Caribbean, Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asian Pacific. Is there one in Malibu? Nubo restaurant. And we haven't said anything about those damn comedians that have been performing over in the Saudi Arabia. So yes, Nubo Malibu is just down the road, Pacific Coast Highway 22706. 22706. So let's see, what's the distance to Jeffrey's restaurant in Malibu. Let's see. Jeffrey's is also on Pacific Coast Highway. So Jeffrey's, Moon Shadow, and Nubo. So 27400. I'm just looking to see where exactly they're all located. The distance. I'm a goofball with stuff like that. Jeffrey's distance to Nubo, Malibu. "10 minutes. 10 minutes by car," it says. 6.0 miles. So Jeffrey's is like downtown Malibu, and then Nubo. Oh no. Nubo is like downtown Malibu or south of downtown Malibu. Jeffrey's is like, it looks like it's close to Point Doom. We used to live in Point Doom. Yeah, Jeffrey's is pretty close to Point Doom. Oh, I wonder if it's in Paradise Cove. I bet that's where Jeffrey's is. There's Paradise Cove. No, it's not quite Paradise Cove. There's downtown Malibu, and Nubo is south of the Jack in the Box, and then the other one, Moon Shadows, is south of that probably. Jeffrey's, Nubo, and then what was the other one? The Moon Shadows restaurant, Malibu. Yeah, that's much further. Oh, I get so confused. What? I should just turn off my computer, turn off this live. My brain is like completely glitching out. Moon Shadows restaurant is Moon Shadows is 20356. So Moon Shadows to Jeffrey's. No, that's not what I wanted. Distance to Nubo restaurant. Yeah, so Moon Shadows is right by Big Rock, and then it says it's only 3 miles. Okay. That doesn't make any sense, though, with the addresses that they gave me. Anyway, I have a pen just like yours. Just spent $20 on more colored lights for my patio. So fun. Yeah, I got a set of these, some blue ones and some purple ones. And I like them because I don't lose them as much because of the big, silly gem at the end. And they're fun, too. They kind of balance well in your hand, but then you can use it as a magic wand when you need to, right? Let's see. I thought she was at Nubo asking people for money or food. Maybe I'm mistaken. It was devastating watching the documentary. I think the police department were involved. Is that your theory? That is absolutely my theory. The police department did that to her. I mean, she was an extremely attractive, smoking hot chick, and she was out of her mind. So I think they targeted her. And as soon as she left the station, I mean, to release her at midnight was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And then I think they like literally went after her, like logistically as well as metaphorically. Like the minute she walked out of the police department, I think they followed her. And then they were probably like, "Hey, you need a ride, baby? I'll take you to the top." And yeah, freaking the attorney general covered that crap up like a cat in a cat box. Absolutely sickening. And especially with it being a black woman, you would think that Kamala might have a little compassion for her and her family. But no, that's the disgusting thing about politics. It's like, you know, they don't want to get involved calling out the police department for their corruption, which is just absolutely insane. Love you, Jazz. Sweet dreams. God bless you. Thank you, dear. Love and light. Have a great night. Drink your water. Eat your protein and fruits and veggies. See you soon. Thank you kindly.